fantastic result for us to end on a high. As you guys saw out there, the fans, the fans was what kept us going today. We're not young bucks anymore. A lot of us are retirees. we're retirees coming back for a good thing, which has been our life, which is football. And to represent, for me personally, the club that I love and support. But to see the way that the fans were out there today, that's what kept us going. And it just shows that no matter where we go in the world, me personally, I always run into West Ham fans who are exactly like that. And this is why, in my opinion, they're the best in the world.
I'll just add to that. I think also, before we even played the game, I think it just shows the togetherness of our team, the coaching staff, everyone that was here with us. It just shows what an amazing group of lads, the team together. That you see the performance that we put in. Even at the end, we're turning around to say to people, right, fresh legs, and you look around, there's no one available, and they still go out and perform like that. It just sums up our dressing room.
Coming back out here day after, what was that kind of experience like? What was going through your mind? You mentioned the fan reaction. Was it what you were anticipating?
Yeah, 100%. I don't expect anything less from West Ham as a club. I need to go on record and say that the topic of conversation that was laid bare yesterday is bigger than football. And the way that TST dealt with it so swiftly, the no-nonsense action, a lot of people around the world, organisations around the world can take note. And again, West Ham United, the support that they've given us as a team, and as a squad, not just to us, but for the staff that are here with us, has been second to none. But again, we have to remember that this ain't just a football issue, this is a societal issue that needs addressing. And if more people address it the way TST addressed it, the world will be a better place.
You're able to say what happened? We don't know what was said. No one's revealed what was said or by whom.
A lot of people saying intentional, but there was a racial slur. I don't need to get into the nuts and bolts of what was said, but what was said was enough reaction to be what it was.
And my last thing is, you could go to a lot of places to play your ball. It's a long way to travel. Why'd you come to this event?
I think he's just summed it up with what he's just said about TST and what they've done for. It's a fantastic tournament. I think
you didn't know that going in. This is the first one.
This is the first one, but it's a fantastic tournament. I think right from the start, I think West Ham were keen to get involved, and we as players we jumped straight on that because what's not to love about coming to playing, meeting back up with ex-teammates as well. That camaraderie that we have, you can't beat it. And as Anton said, we're ex-players, so to come back together is really important. And obviously to travel out here, a brilliant tournament, a great stage to come out and and obviously play and try and do well, but also to be together with everyone and represent West Ham.
Anton, were there any, when you spoke with the team after the incident, was there any talk about possibly not playing today?
I think, that was definitely a possibility. And the reason why is because, as I said earlier, the topic of conversation is much bigger than football, and it's not just people of ethnicity who are dealing with this issue. Every race, colour, creed has to deal with this issue the same way that we would, that ethnic minorities do, and I think making a stand, it's hard because when I was on the other side as a player and playing competitively and for a living, if someone said to me, walk off the pitch, the competitor in me would fight, in my mind, but I'm no longer that. And I've got a duty, I believe in myself, to make sure that if I'm in these situations, I use my voice in the best way possible, And I believe not just me, but the team as a whole, the squad as a whole, the club as a whole have done that. And that's why I'm standing here proud with my chest out, with this badge on me, because we dealt with it in the right way, along with TST.
Anton, it's such a secondary thing. I'm curious if you guys put any, the way it was resolved, where the game was abandoned, neither team got any points, you guys effectively got eliminated, albeit from from a friendly tournament, obviously. That crossed your minds at all? Were you guys satisfied with the outcome in that way?
Yeah, 100. That's why we played today. You know,
Yeah.
as I said, that was definitely a possibility that we might not play today if the outcome was different. But what we just done there today, regardless of whether we went through or not, we put in a performance today. Not just for ourselves, not just for our families who are watching back home, but for the West Ham fans, the US West Ham fans, the American West Ham fans that have travelled, and some of the British fans that are here as well who've travelled. You know, we put in a great shift for them today, and it was only right that we showed resilience, because to deal with stuff that happened yesterday, you have to show resilience and you have to show togetherness. You know, and that's what we've done. We've dealt with it off the pitch and we've dealt with it on the pitch, and there's no bigger statement than that.
Can I just ask you a quick one about the format of the tournament itself, the rules, the 7-a-side, target scored, that sort of stuff. What'd you make of it? It's all very different. You know?
Are you excited about it?
I like it.
There you go then. So
I was always going to like it. It's the
exactly,
concept of it.
exactly.
The big question is Declan to Arsenal? That's the real question we want to know.
That's not a question for me to answer. You know, but of course, I'd love Declan to stay forever. Whether that'll happen or not, only he and the club knows.
So did the fans here today make it clear that I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles is originally an American song?
Listen, West Ham, near and far, when you sing I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, with that meaning, the British fans, they welcome you in. You know, every player that played today, I'm probably one of the only ones who was a West Ham fan before, from the age of 9 all the way up. But every other player that played today, if they weren't West Ham fans, when they come and joined the club, they became West Ham fans. That tells you about our football club.
What do you think? What do you make of seeing an American fan from North Carolina singing that song in an English accent?
I love it.
Just curious.
I love it, but that tells you about our football club.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
also think it shows that football is worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just in London or England, it's worldwide, and that's why this competition is fantastic, that everyone can come together.
As a fan, as a player, as someone who loves soccer, when something like happened yesterday, how does that make you feel?
I think that was one of the big things that was said yesterday, you know. You may not know what it feels like because of the colour of your skin. I know what it feels like. But if you're open-minded enough, you can understand just by the way I speak to you about it, the way I answer your questions. You're able to try and understand the feeling, you know, and show empathy to it. But as I said, we're a resilient bunch of players who, because of the right outcome, and that's solely down to West Ham, our staff here, and TST as an organisation, that the right outcome prevailed, and we was able to go and do the business on the pitch and show that although the topic of conversation is bigger than football, football is still the winner.
Anton, you mentioned
Last couple of
So I was just going to say, a special mention obviously to Mo as well. They were brilliant as well, and obviously Ev joined in with the knee, and even afterwards, special mention to them. I think they handled everything as well, really well.
And every club that was here, that's in this tournament, were willing to roll with whatever we was going to do. You know, if we weren't going to play no more, there was support there from every single football club that is here in this tournament, and that just shows you the solidarity and what solidarity can do.
Was there any outreach from the Dallas club after the incident happened?
Pardon?
Was there any outreach from Dallas, players or representatives other than the player in question?
I think they wanted to have a conversation, but you know, I think it was only right that the powers that be, which is TST, they deal with it, you know, and it gets dealt with in the right way. I think to counteract something, there has to be deterrence, you know, and TST have sent out a strong message that any form of discrimination, racism and other forms of discrimination is not tolerated in a tournament like this. And because of the repercussions of what's happened to Dallas, I hope people next year understand and realise the repercussions of saying such things, and I hope it is home.
So guys, we've got last question just here.
Anton, you mentioned that TST or other leagues can take notice of what the sort of decision that TST made. We saw how La Liga mishandled the Vinicius Jr. incident. of many incidents actually. Is football at the highest level closer to bridging that gap, or are we further behind in terms of finding solutions to racism?
I think just the fact that you've mentioned what happened with Vinicius Jr. tells you that we're so far away from it. But we won't stop fighting. We won't stop fighting. But the most important thing, I think, the message is, it's just not ethnic minority people's fight. It's everybody's fight. You need to speak about it the same way I speak about it, the same way my teammates speak about it. That's one thing that we had yesterday. It wasn't just black players that were talking about it. It was players who were white, like Javo, Elliot Ward, Jimmy Walker, coming forward and speaking before me, before Colin Cole. You know, that's very, very important, you know, because when somebody of white heritage hears somebody of my heritage speak of it, it's almost like it's a broken record. We've heard it before. But when you hear it from somebody who looks like you, it makes you take note. So I think everybody needs to come together and fight as a collective. And if we do that, football can be it's hard, but football could be the catalyst for change in society. But society's got to want to change with it.
Right, guys, thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.